Alright, first off, I'm happy to announce that I've been kind of concealing the fact that I've been a beta tester on this for months. I didn't really do that much this time. I mostly gave some suggestions on how to make Shiva better. I'll let you guys kind of guess which changes or which properties you think were my idea. But I've been holding this in for months, and now I finally get to unleash all my content. So apologies in advance if your subscription box is a little bit blown up right now. I've had a lot of this done for months, and the past week or so, I've been working on some extra content here. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go over everything in the DLC to the best of my ability. So the first thing is that there's a training mode in here, and the training mode is actually pretty nice because, this game doesn't really teach you a lot about its mechanics and stuff, and this teaches you pretty much everything you need to know. How to do your basic moves, how the special moves work, combo systems and stuff. Actually, you have full overviews for all of the characters in the game. So let's go ahead and show one really quick. So you get a nice little gist of how to play the character just from doing this. Which I think is something nice. This game is far more advanced than your average beat 'em up, so it's nice to have these resources in the game, and people can kind of learn without having to look up a guide or something. So it's not going to teach you advanced stuff, but you'll get the gist of how to learn the character. It will teach you their gimmicks and some properties on their moves and stuff. I actually got my save deleted during beta testing, so I actually did clear the majority of this, but you guys can't see that right now. Also, there is free training. So you can play as any character in the game, and you can use their custom movesets, which I'm going to get into shortly. And you can just lab out combos, so no more having to beat up poor Diva in Boss Rush if you want to actually learn how to play this game. If you haven't played this game before, or you beat it once and you moved on to other games, obviously the last year since this game came out has been pretty packed with releases. This is definitely a good time to come back because you have basically a whole extra moveset for every character, and you also have training mode, so if you got frustrated with how hard it was to learn how to play characters before, that's no longer an issue. So before I get into training, I wanted to show survival mode. Survival mode is where you're going to unlock pretty much all of the extra content, meaning the new enemies, the training mode, and all the new moves. I actually did a bunch of this twice. I had to do it twice because my save got deleted due to a glitch. That's just something that happens when you when you beta test something. So as you can see, everybody has alternate moves. The Streets of Rage 4 characters have 5. Streets of Rage 1 characters have 1. Obviously, there's not really a lot of animation frames to really work with there. And then the 2 and 3 characters have 4 moves, respectively. Now, I didn't unlock everybody. I was given the option of getting a save, but it's been torture not being able to stream or record this for like 4 months. So I kind of wanted to save some of that. I'm sure somebody's going to put up a compilation. I know I'm leaving some ad revenue on the table there, but I think this will work out. So basically, if you've ever played any roguelikes with daily challenges, talking like 20XX, 30XX, Binding of Isaac, Assault Android Cactus, it's basically the same thing here. You have a random one, and then you have a weekly challenge, and there's like, this is randomized, and this is a set seed. So you can do whichever one you want. If you find a good seed that's good for your character, then you can kind of just keep going through it. So let's do a random sim today. So this is how you customize your moveset. I'm going to be using Shiva because A, he's my favorite character, and B, because I have the full moveset unlocked with him. So you can basically customize how you want them to play. You You can use any combination of the two moves, or you can just play default, or you can play all alternate, whatever you'd like. I like to leave Shiva vanilla, except for Flying Kick. Flying Kick, I think, is really good for him because it allows you to kind of rush the enemies down, and it chains well into his default defensive specials. Let's go ahead and play for a little bit here. So it's actually very similar to the Bloody Palace, but you have different buffs that you can get. Like right now, I have Glass Cannon, which would actually be pretty good for him, I think, because he does a lot of damage in general. I'm just going to go ahead and take that, since this is not going to be a full run. Full runs will come when the embargo lifts. I'm recording this a couple days before embargo. So there's alternate enemies in here, both for Retro and the Streets of Rage 4 native enemies. They have different fight styles and stuff, so even if there's not like any new enemy sprites, there's still a lot of new content here. And as you fight them, you can actually unlock them in trading mode. So if you want to lab on them, you can that way. Okay, so right now I have the chance of a random upgrade or Fire Blitz, so that will give his kick Fire DOT. Later on, this gets pretty crazy. The enemies get more aggressive. You get the exclusive elite enemies, and more enemies spawn. This actually pretty much is a roguelike in the fact that, you know, you have a very easy start. It can be kind of slow, but then as you start to get a build going, it starts to get more interesting. So points give you stars in here. You do not have extra lives in here at all. So it definitely is beneficial to pick up all the point items and try to get long combos, because that will give you more stars. Later on, towards the second half, you know, when it gets harder, you're definitely going to want to have those stars. See, I've got some elemental attack procs on my blitz attack. That's actually pretty crappy to take because I already took Glass Cannon. This might take a little bit of getting used to if you don't play roguelikes, but if you play any kind of action roguelike, you're gonna feel right at home here pretty much. Having to make decisions for your build and you know, what to prioritize first, what synergizes well with each character. All of those decisions are very important, along with your personal skill. Later on, there will be like 2 bosses and a bunch of like Smash Brothers like hazards. It gets to become a mess, but that's what's fun about it. I mean, that's generally how roguelikes are. You look at like Risk of Rain 2 from like when you first start it, and then to when you're like an hour in, it's like a completely different game. That's definitely how this feels too. Okay, so here I have the choice of Toxic Heavy Attacks or 3 stars. We're going to go ahead and take this because I'm not actually going to do a full run right now. I have some other things to explain in this overview. We're going to get to the second boss, and then we're going to wipe, so that you guys can see how the progression works. That was a weird floor. Oh, here's a really interesting one. So this gives you an extra jump. What's cool about it, too, is that you can actually jump cancel. So for Shiva, that's like a best-in-slot a best-in-slot item to take. Because he's already an aerial-focused character. There you go. Nice, huh? Unfortunately, I hate to be the bringer of bad news. You cannot use these buffs in anything but the survival mode. However, I'm sure somebody's going to make a cheat engine table to let you do that. I did mention it during the beta. I did mention to Jordy that I think that would be a great way to increase replay value and give more of a tangible reward to doing this. But he said that, you know, maybe that will happen in the future. So for now, this is what we've got. So let's go ahead and wipe, and you guys can see how the progression works. There's actually some pretty crap bonuses. There aren't like that many bonuses, but it kind of avoids the trappings of a lot of roguelikes, where you have a lot of really crap-like weapons or gear or items you can take that are like way too situational. A lot of the stuff in here is pretty good to take, but you definitely will have to make some decisions depending on what you want to take. Alright, so we're going to wipe there and get to the rest of the overview. So as you can see here, there's a tally of all the enemies I beat. That was still like the first half of the run, so actually less than half of the run, so before it starts to ramp up. So I didn't get any unique enemies, but if I go into here, that was like one of my best runs. You can see a lot of elite class enemies there. There's Abadid there, and Barbin from the Game Gear games, and a bunch of red, really angry versions of the other characters. Okay, so if you go into training, I should go ahead and show free training too.
I live to fight.
You can actually choose which enemies you want to spawn. Lots of really nice stuff in here, like being able to change your position. You can change the enemy health. You can multiply them. So as you go through survival mode, you will actually unlock a lot of these enemies. So for instance, let's do a fight on the classic diva. Where is she? Somewhere in here. The enemies actually do fight differently, so like I said, even though they're still the same sprites, they actually have different fighting styles and their moves are altered and stuff, which is pretty much how the new moves work too. Okay, so let's do 100%. you can give yourself infinite specials, infinite star moves. You can also multiply the enemies too. Let's go ahead and try that. And you can change their difficulty as well. It's quite the mess here. This is kind of what the later levels of survival mode are like. Okay, so that's basically the training mode. It's actually very useful. You can practice combos, you can practice combinations of enemies, and you even get access to the survival mode enemies. So that's actually a pretty significant amount of content. Okay, so let's try out Mania Plus really quick. So let's just go to Stage Select. See, I got a couple S ranks on Mania Plus, which I'm pretty proud of. Let's go ahead and show how this works. Basically, they're just hyper-aggressive, and you start with 0 lives, so it basically means you have 1 life at the start, and you'll have to rely on extends. But if you're playing a character like Shiva, and you can get good combos going, then you're still going to have a lot of opportunities for extends. See how fast they are. Pretty intense stuff. So because of how many enemies spawn and how many hits Shiva can do, you actually will get a lot of opportunities for extends, but your runs are going to be very front-loaded. Because you need to stack as many extends as you can. The enemies still don't have any more health too, which is, I think, is one of the most beautifully designed things about this game. You can see how difficult this is without falling into the trappings of normal video game stuff where you just give things 10 times more health. Or make them one-shot you, and that's their idea of challenge. The Barneys basically have mastered instant transmission from Dragon Ball Z now. By the way, actually, I will reveal one thing that I suggested during the beta was giving Shiva's neutral special OTG properties. So if you really like some of these combos I'm doing, you can thank me for that idea. Welcome in advance. There's a Mania Plus level for you. You know, I normally don't go for harder difficulties on beat-em-ups, even though I'm obviously, as you can see, I'm capable of doing them. I just got an S rank on Mania Plus. I generally don't bother with them because it always devolves into just things do more damage and they have more health, and that's not really interesting to me. I actually like how this game is like, let's just make them super fast and make them attack faster, so you really have to be on point, and it definitely does amplify the risk-reward of the green health mechanic for your specials too. But as you can see, it can be manageable if you control your character well. Anyway, that's basically it for the overview. Thought I'd basically cover pretty much all of the new content. Overall, I think for $8 this is a steal. Whether you like all the characters is anyone's guess. Obviously there's a lot of characters, and they all have very different playstyles. The only one I've really played extensively is Shiva, but the others are very fun in their own right, too. Also, if you didn't like a character before, what's really nice is that, you know, the alternate moves give them alternate playstyles. Like, I'll show one more thing before I sign off here.
Blaze Fielding.
Let's show some of the alt specials for her. So if you're like me and you don't enjoy how they can't run, Axel and Blaze did get some pretty fast moves. This is her alternate blitz, and that cancels into her alternate offensive special. So you can do stuff like that. Stuff. Anyway, I hope that helps you guys make an educated purchasing decision. I mean, they're only charging $8 for this, and it basically, like, doubles the content of the game when you consider that this is a beat-em-up, and just having new moves and new characters is, like, a massive amount of content. I think it's actually a steal. The main thing I'm disappointed with is the fact that you can't really use the survival mode buffs in the main game. I think that would give a lot of replay value, too. That was something I suggested, but just didn't really make it in time for this patch. maybe that will arrive in the future or something. I don't have any inside information there, but I'm sure if you're on PC, there's going to be cheat engine mods to use them. I'm definitely going to talk to my friend to probably try to get those into the game. But for now, if you want to make those crazy builds and stuff, you want to do speed runs with them, it's not going to be possible for the time being. Anyway, this is really good DLC. I'm sorry I've had to not play this game on the channel for months. Now you guys know why. I've had this beta. I've had access to the DLC for months now, and the embargo has finally lifted. So I'll be playing the game and streaming the game on the channel once again. Thanks for watching.